What's going on, everybody? Bluraven here, and today is I've been I've been trying to do this video for 2 weeks now. Like I wanted to do a video right when it happened, and I talked to my wife and some people, and the information kept getting weirder and weirder and weirder, and so I decided I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until I'm gonna wait till there's more information, and and then see what's going on. And I got to tell you guys, this disgusts me in a lot of ways because the fact that somebody died, and this video is about Charlie Kirk, but the fact that somebody died, and there's so many people out there clout chasing for views, for money off of his death, trying to bank off his death by coming up with these insane conspiracy theories. That's how I feel about that right there. I want to choke these people through the heat, through my monitor, through my TV, when I'm on YouTube or social media, whatever social media, Facebook, Instagram, and these people are putting out these videos. Oh, this happened, and X, Y, and Z, and there's the grassy knoll, and so this video is going to be about the Charlie Kirk assassination. I don't care how this video does. I want to make this plain and clear that I've never done one of these videos before, and so uh, you're just looking at my wallpaper right now because I want to talk first, and then I'm going to give you some information, and then I'm going to show you some things, and then we're going to end the video. I do want to do more videos like this. I do want to do a conspiracy video, but not with this because there's no conspiracy here. I like conspiracies. Conspiracy theories are so much fun to dive into because some of them are wonky as hell, but you're going, yeah, but there's a little validity there. It could happen. This, there's no conspiracy. What you see is what you get in this. This is Occam's razor, right? If it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, and it waddles like a duck, it's not a cat. It's a fucking duck. Okay? That's what you're getting with this. There's no angle, there's no video footage that says anything other than he was shot from the front, and and where the shot took place at. Okay? The video. Okay? So first of all, before I'm getting ahead of myself, but let's get into it real quick because I got some video. I got a guy that I'm going to put up that I'm not going to play his video much. I'm just going to show you it, and I want you to go and watch his video. So I'm going to actually promote somebody else's video because he has a lot of experience in like CSI and whatnot. The first thing I want to talk about is my experience. What what makes me uh, an analyst of this, a professional, if you will, to analyze this assassination? Honestly, none. Um, I was in the military. I was in the U.S. Army, and um, the only thing I would know would be weapons. I know how guns work, right? I understand how to fire a gun. I understand velocity of guns, and I understand different calibers of guns. But other than that, that's my experience, guys. I want to show you um, what I did when I was in the Army. Let's see. I have this pulled up right here. Here we go. Hoya! Right here. This is what I did. We don't have to see all this. This is just here. We'll do that. There you go. My MOS was 19 kilo, guys. Okay, I was a crewman on an M1 tank. That is an M1 tank. I was the driver. Here's the driver right here. This is where the driver is. Okay. Now let's talk about the munitions on an M1 tank, so I can give you guys a better idea of why I can kind of give you an idea of what happened. This is a 120 millimeter smoothbore cannon. Okay, it fires a round that moves a mile per second. A bullet. It's just a bullet. It's called a sable round, and it goes at a mile per second. Okay, that's the main gun. I've fired that before. This right here, see this thing right here? This is called a coax machine gun, and this is an M240 Bravo, I think, because this is a Charlie up here. This is a 240. This 240 is right here as well. This is a Bravo, and this is a Charlie. This one can be dismounted, and you can use this one as like you can put a bipod on it and carry it around as like with infantry. Whereas this one, it has to be mounted in where it is. And this is the Modus. This is a 50 caliber machine gun. All this extra stuff is all computers. This is a SEP. This is an A2. I wasn't on an A2. I was on an A1. But you got a 50, two 240s, a 120. There's an M4 or an M16 in here in the turret somewhere. And every single one of these, there's 4 people in this tank, okay? You got the loader. This is the loader. The tank commander. Here he is. The gunner, he's sitting right in here, okay? And the driver, he's down here. And he's sitting in like a recliner. He's the most comfortable position in the tank. But every single one of them has a sidearm as well. So when I was in, we had the 9mm Berettas. I've heard they've switched gun sidearms since then, but we had the 9mm Beretta when I was in. So that's my experience. That's all I have to go off of based on my expertise of the situation. Okay. So we'll go ahead and we're going to close that out. So let's talk about what happened first. On September 10, 2025, at somewhere around 12:30, 12:45, somewhere in that time frame, I believe it was around, or maybe it was 11:40. I could have the time frames off. I could Google. I'm not going to. It doesn't matter. The time doesn't actually really matter to what really happened. So on September 10th, 2025, at a Utah campus, Charlie Kirk was holding one of his debate me kind of things, prove me wrong, change my mind kind of things with college students, and a sniper sitting up on a building with clear line of sight, roughly 140 to 200 yards away, took a shot, ending his life. One shot, not multiple shots, not hidden shots, one shot, and ended his life instantly. And that's the key here too, is that he was killed instantly. The gun that the sniper used was a Mauser 30-06. I know what a 30-06 is. It's a hunting rifle, first of all. It's now understand all guns can be used for war, but guns are just a tool. I've always said that from when I was young. Guns are a tool. They only become a weapon when they put them in the hands of somebody who wants to use it as a weapon. It's no different than a knife or a baseball bat. They're all what they are until they aren't what they are, right? The 30-06 is a hunting rifle. It's made for hunting. It's made for providing for your family. It's not made for murder, right? It's made for high impact, high damage rate. Okay. A 30-06 round moves at right around 3,000 feet per second, which is faster than the speed of sound. Okay. To give you an idea, if you convert that from feet to yards, it's moving at about 980 to 1,000 yards a second. Okay, so in less than a second, that round went from the barrel through and hit Charlie, and that's very important because the doctors claim they had recovered the bullet from his body, that his bones stopped it, and they're going, well, that round that big, there's no exit wound around that big would have had to have. There's no way it would have been stopped. Kind of what there kind of is. So it hadn't even reached its maximum velocity yet. So it hadn't even. It's hard to explain, but it's essentially the energy wasn't at its. The bullet hadn't expanded enough to do more damage than it did. It was too close. Okay. Because had he been further away, say 400 yards away, and took the shot and hit him, it would have went right through him, right through the person behind him, through the curtain, and anybody standing behind him, it would have went right through them as well. But because he was so close, the bullet never had enough time to get enough energy up, and it could have also been a cheap ass bullet too. That's another thing that people don't talk about. I don't see anybody talking about. It could have been a range bullet that's just cheap as hell that just it disintegrated on impact. Or, I mean, not disintegrated on impact, but mushrooms on impact. Um, here's the biggest problem that I see, and before I get into all of my stuff, um, I just want to reiterate what you see is what you get in this video, or in the video that you see that everybody's seen. Everybody's seen all the different angles. What you see is what you get. Okay, it's one shot from the front, takes him out. Okay, you can't. There's two things. With all the conspiracies out there, there's two things you can't fake. Okay, 1 + 1 always equals 2. You can't fake physics. Okay, when he gets hit, the videos of his up close is always misleading because it's too close to understand how physics are working. But if you look at, there's a video, it was the first one I had saw, and it's somebody up in the crowd, up, like in elevated, looking down at Charlie Kirk, probably like 100 yards away with their phone. You can actually see the bullet hit his shirt. See, because what I actually think happened is it ricocheted off of something. So he didn't have body armor on. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I think it hit his collarbone. It was close enough to where it wouldn't go all the way through. But what I think happened is it actually hit his collarbone and ricocheted into his neck. That is what I think happened. That is so much more plausible than anything else anybody else said, because you're taught, even if you go on YouTube for a day to learn how to shoot, you're going to be taught to aim center mass. You aim to the center of the mass of whatever you're going to shoot at, okay? Because then if you miss high, you're going to hit it in the throat or head, right? We're talking about human. If you miss low, you're going to hit in the stomach, groin, or legs. Okay. You miss to the side, you can hit liver, kidneys. You're still going to hit something, right? If you aim to the center of the mass. So if he's aiming center mass and he's not quite zero because he had to reassemble the gun, then he aims, and when he shoots high, and so it goes up to his collarbone, hits his collarbone, and ricochets into his throat. Either way, he's dead instantly. And my thoughts and prayers go out to the Kirk family first. I should have said at the beginning, but um, I couldn't imagine going through something like that. That is insane. That is insane. Um, so, but if you look at the further away videos, you can see his shirt indent. If they slow those down, you can see the shirt indent where the bullet's going in, right? So I think it's a ricochet. I think it actually that's why they were able to get. That's the reason his neck, his spinal cord, or whatever caught the bullet, is because it had already lost so much velocity when it ricocheted off of like a thicker bone, like his collarbone or clavicle, or whatever the hell you call this bone, right below your neck. Um, but I do want to show you guys a difference, because a lot of people are saying, "Well, I've never shot a 30-06. I've shot in 5.56 and 7.62 and 2.23 and whatnot." You guys are kind of funny on this because, all right, so this one I'm going to bring out. This right here. This is the bullet that tried to assassinate Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. This is your standard AR round. So they come in 2.23, which is slightly smaller than this, or 5.56. This is a 5.56 round. Okay, this is standard issue in the military when I was in. This is what was in the M4 and the M16. This bullet right here. Okay, this bigger bullet next to it is a 7.62 round. Okay, that when I showed you my MOS in the Army, those two machine guns, the 240s, this is the bullet they fired, was a 7.62. Okay, and it was belt fed. This is important because it's also fired by a very, very famous gun, one of the most popular guns all around the world. There's a YouTube channel called this bullet's rifle. That's the AK guy. The AK-47 fires a 7.62 round. Now, why is that so important? Why do I constantly keep pointing out the 7.62 round? Right? This is what they shot at Trump and missed. Okay? This is essentially what they fired at Charlie Kirk and hit. But that's a 30-06, right? Okay, so this is where it gets a little bit weird. Okay? I'm gonna bring it. I grabbed another picture. Okay, this is your 7.62. This is a 30-06. Notice, oh well, blue. The 30-06 is bigger. It's not. The actual bullets are the same size. This just has way more power behind it than this one does. The brass, this, this is so. The bullet is this right here. From right here up is the bullet. From right here to here is about the bullet. Okay, all of this is energy. All of this is the black powder or gunpowder or whatever they use in these to fire them. Okay, so there's a lot less energy in this one than this one because this one's made to be shot very multiple rounds very quickly. So if you have a bigger explosion, it's going to the rounds being fired are you're not going to get a higher rate of fire. This you're going to get a better rate of fire because they're going to be cycling much faster because you got less energy. You have to shoot the bullet downrange. This is made for marksman, so sharpshooting. This is made for uh, 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 um, like machine guns, auto rifles, right? Just you're kind of okay. That's the difference. But essentially, I'm not saying they're the exact same rounds, guys. Okay, because I don't understand all of the physics behind bullets, and I don't claim I do. But I do know that a 30-06 is very usually 90% of the time is always compared to a 7.62 round. When I was in the military, when we talk about 7.62, they go, "Well, yeah, when you were a kid, didn't you go hunting with like a 30-06? It's the same bullet." So they always told me in basic training and whatnot. So but it's basically the same round. Basically, this is just has way more power behind it. Okay, and that's the key in why this didn't have an exit wound is because it does have so much more power, and he was way too close to make that shot to where it would um, go through him. Where is like I said, I really think it ricocheted. I really believe initially I said he had body armor, hit the body armor, and ricocheted into his neck. That was my first when I first saw the video, the very first video I saw, I said it looks like a ricochet into his neck. And if he had body armor on, if I was his wife, I would sue the company that made the body armor because that's not what body armor is supposed to do. Body armor is supposed to catch it. When a bullet 3A plus can stop this, 3A to 4, I believe, can stop a 30-06 round. You're going to break some bones, but it'll stop it. But it's supposed to catch it. It grabs it and, bang, it catches it like ceramic plates, Kevlar, all that stuff. It's designed to catch the bullet, not to stop the bullet. It's supposed to think of like a big net, right? And somebody jumps from a high distance and falls into the net and it catches them. That's kind of what a bulletproof vest is supposed to do, and that's not what it did. I thought, well, it ricocheted. It hit just the right angle of the body armor and ricocheted into his neck, and I would sue the company that did it because that's not what it's supposed to do. But I don't think he's wearing body armor. His wife said he hardly ever wore body armor, so I'm leaning more towards he didn't. Okay, so um, but a lot of people are saying, well, this is weird because he wasn't a politician. And I'm gonna get off of the bullets now. So that's does put that to rest for you guys. This is the bullet that was fired, if that's what they claimed was the bullet that was fired. The Mauser that they had, no, it was super old. It wasn't. It looks like one you could buy at like a sporting goods store right now. Like it looks modern. It looks very modern in the pictures that I've seen. They said it was wrapped in a towel, but it was in a box. The box was actually the police put it in the box. That was a uh, um, I forget. I'm blanking on the word, but it's um, Brennan Tatum talks about it, but it's a box for the police to keep it safe and untampered with, so they can draw DNA off of it, fingerprints, and all that stuff off of it. Evidence box. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. So, very modern rifle. It's an older rifle, like I don't know how old Mausers are, but it could be a little bit older, but it looks pretty modern to me. It's bolt action. There's like 5 pieces to the whole gun. So assembling it on the roof and then running away with it. He never disassembled it. That's another debunk right away. He didn't disassemble it after taking the shot. He just gets up, wraps it in a towel, and takes off running. And I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you this. I'm not going to play the video. I just pulled this video because it shows exactly what happened. Okay, so here's Charlie. Okay, the video that I talk about where the person in it's like 100 yards away video where you can see it hit his shirt. He's sitting like up here, looking down at him, and you can see the round hit him in the chest. Well, it looks like it hit him in the chest. Okay. Let me just pull this up. So, uh, here's where the sniper was. Okay. He's sitting right. He's right up against this edge right here because there was a video of somebody over here looking right at him, and he was right up against this edge. Hold on. Sorry, my voice is kind of groggy today. So he takes the shot, bang, hits him, gets up, runs this way. Okay, because this video of this parking lot over here, this structure over here, it's like the camera's like right here. You can see him. He comes into frame like right here. He runs behind this thing, comes around here, drops down, runs through this parking lot, and ditches the gun in this somewhere in this area, and then runs off. Okay, that's the narrative that's been told. There's nothing. There's no other video evidence anywhere on there that suggests anything different than that. You clearly see this dude do this. You clearly see it. The physics. Okay, the physics says so. Charlie's hit from the front. He reacts. He doesn't react. His body, from the inertia of the round, reacts. He gets knocked backwards and then falls over. And everybody says, "Well, yeah, that's because he fell over to his left side, I believe." And people say that's because he got shot from the side, like somebody shot him from over here or whatever the hell they talk about. Like this, there's this weird plant right here thing right here. Then they say this is where the shot actually took place, or it's here somewhere. No, if he was sitting on a stool that didn't have a backrest, he would have fallen straight backwards. He gets hit, it goes up against the backrest of the chair, and then he falls over. The backrest absorbs all the impact of all that energy, the chair does, and then he falls, slumps over. Okay. Um, there's no evidence. So if you want to know where the bullet came from for sure, for 100%, ask a physicist that understands how energy works, and they'll tell you the exact same thing. It came from the front. Now, whether it came from him or not is this kid's innocent until proven guilty. So I'm not saying he took the shot. What I'm saying is it came from this direction, somewhere this way. It could have been here, it could have been here, it could have been here, but it was from the front. Okay. And then the other people, so then we get off of the actual assassination and talk about why. Well, why was Charlie assassinated? He wasn't president, running for president, or a congressman, or a mayor, or anything like that. It just doesn't make sense. Well, no, it's happened before. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X were both assassinated. They weren't political members of any party. They were speakers, and they just spoke out, right? So it's happened before. Um, uh, but the two things I wanted to really bang in with the hammer that you need to know that you can't fake. These conspiracies all fall apart based on these two critical pieces of information. Physics, 1 + 1 = 2. The bullet clearly hits him from the front, okay? I don't care about exit wound or anything. That is irrelevant, okay? Because there's some weird information on that, and I'll get into that after I clarify some things. So you can't fake physics, okay? Can't do it. The second one is natural human reactions. Natural human reactions. Everybody that's at this event, right? If you watch the videos, when that bullet crack and hits him, once everybody realizes, so they react to the sound first before they react to Charlie actually dying. Everybody looks back here. Everybody turns their head and looks to where the round came from. There's actually a guy that's right up here with like a boom mic, which captures the round so well. Like you can hear it crack. You can hear it so it's uncompressed and everything. And all these people that are up here on this look right up here. They turn their heads and look, and then all chaos breaks free. But that split second where everybody's looking at the direction of where the bullet. Now, these people down in here, this is going to have an echo chamber kind of thing, so it's going to be kind of hard for a lot of these people to understand really where the round came because it's going to echo. But even these people were looking back here. So human reaction, you just can't fake. 1,000 people are going to look the same direction, but the bullet came from over here with the silencer. Like, okay, come on, people, quit being stupid about this. It's a duck. It's a duck. It walked, quacked, waddled, all that. It's a duck. Okay. He was shot from the front. Okay. The one thing that I always had an issue with was that uh, uh, Turning Point USA put out, the president of Turning Point USA, or one of the head people put out that the surgeon found the bullet on just underneath his skin, and he had bones of steel and this, that, and the third. And he keeps saying surgeon. And this is where I have an issue: is you use the right terminology. There may have been a surgeon on call at the hospital, but he wasn't in surgery. Make no mistake, Charlie Kirk never went into surgery. Okay, because the hospital said he died instantly. If he died instantly, it doesn't matter what they did after the shot. They said he could have been shot on the operating table, and they wouldn't have been able to save his life. Okay, so he's shot. He's rushed to the hospital. They're going to take him into the ER, where he's pronounced dead in the ER. He's never moved to a surgery. Okay, he's never moved to surgery. He's going to get pronounced dead at the ER. Okay, um, I'm like 90% positive that's how that works. It could have been a surgeon on call that was in the ER at the time that pronounced him dead instead of a normal ER doctor, but um, the thought that he was in surgery, that's crazy talk because he was dead like instantly, right? Um, I'm trying to read my notes that I have here because I want to get uh, oh, and the other thing, the one last thing I want to talk about on this is that here I can actually close this too. No, I'm done with that. No, I'm done with this guy. So the Discord messages back and forth between the killer and his boyfriend. Everybody says it's so weird. It's like almost like it was somebody else typed it. I can tell you from personally, I have an 18-year-old daughter, and I can read her Discord sometimes, and I'm like, they just talk like that. That's just how this generation talks in Discord. They talk very weird. They don't complete sentences. And another thing you also have to keep in mind is you're not reading it from the mind of the shooter. You're reading it from your mind. So you're interpreting things differently. Um, Also, why did he ditch the gun? Why did he ditch the gun right away? Okay, so first of all, this is a 20-year-old kid who just he killed somebody. He saw it through the scope. He killed him. He knows he killed him. He runs away. He's in shock, right? And he has an adrenaline dump. He's going to start making very poor decisions from this point on. Okay, he's already made a bunch of poor decisions to do this, but now his decision making gets even worse because he can't think clearly. Ditching the rifle is a very common thing that a lot of criminals do after something like this because they're not thinking clearly. Okay, so a lot of the stuff can be addressed if you just use common sense. Okay, common sense says this kid did it. Now, obviously, he's innocent until proven guilty, right? So the last thing I want to talk about before I end this video, and also, if you want a full analysis of what actually took place based on what I said, go check out this guy's video. Uh, um, Copper Kaya, however you say this, but go check this guy out. Watch this specific video, and it reiterates everything I'm saying. Pretty much, he just says it in a more elegant way, I guess. But yeah, go check this guy out. So the last thing I want to talk about is the conspiracies of if it was a conspiracy, how would it take place? There's a video out there by one of my guys I subscribe to, another veteran. Um, Such a cool guy, such a funny guy, Nico Ortiz. Go check him out. He the day after the the day of or the day after the shooting, he does a video and he's watching. He's showing you everything, and he tells you uh, what his thoughts are on it. And it's very interesting because he was in that kind of field in the army or in the military, I should say. I don't know if he was actually army or Marines, but he was in that um, field of like he would know. Um, but if it let's play devil's advocate for you, um, uh, uh, for you people out there going, it wasn't it wasn't done by himself. I honestly believe that. I can honestly take that he's not by himself. He didn't do this alone. That there was people helping him. Okay, it just seems too convenient for him to be by himself. Okay, so I was thinking about it, and based off of my information, that my knowledge base and everything, how many people could you possibly use to get this job done without it getting out of hand where it's going to leak too easily? Where people, because the more people you get inside of this group to do this, the easier it is to leak information. For a great example of conspiracy theories is the moon landing. We didn't land on the moon. Okay, but who says we did? Well, NASA said. Okay, well, how many people work at NASA at the time? Well, there's thousands of people. So you're telling me thousands of people faked the moon landing and kept it quiet for 50 years? You see what I'm saying? The more people you add, the harder it is to keep the story right. So at minimum, 2 people, at maximum, 5 people were involved in this. So we're going to go with the maximum. Okay, the maximum you would have, I'm just going to give them their own little names. So you're going to have a spotter, a trigger, a shooter, a fall, and a lookout. Okay, the spotter is a normal sniper person. They go hand in hand. A sniper usually has a spotter, and they're usually next to him. Now, in this case, you don't want the spotter next to you because it's going to bring way too much attention to that rooftop. Even his security would see it at that point. Is hey, there's 2 people up on that roof, and they look suspicious. Let's get Charlie out of here. So the spotter has to be somewhere else. And in this instance, the spotter's got to be next to the target. And there's a very and again, this is all speculation. This is not I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm saying that this is just what I noticed. There's a video of I want to say it's Charlie's right side. When the shot happens, there's somebody holding a phone. Okay, the shot happens and this person never reacts. Every video you see of this, the person, except for the bipod cameras that are right in front of him, every person with a cell phone, it jerks. They jerk away, right? Almost instantly because they're surprised. They're they're reacting, right? But except for this one camera, the cell phone camera, it never reacts. The shot happens. The camera literally follows Charlie to the ground, follows his security detail, pick him up, and follows him to his car. This person is not affiliated with Charlie, as far as I know. Um, that would be your spotter. If there was a spotter, that's the spotter. This person, if you go around to the other side, to his left side, and see footage from that side, it's, I believe it's a woman wearing a red dress. Now, again, I'm not saying this person is affiliated with this in any way, shape, or form, but she's in all red, which would make it easy to spot for the sniper to look to get that range correct. She's perfectly parallel with Charlie, and she's wearing all red. Now, red MAGA movement, so that can be disproven just like that. But you guys want a conspiracy? I'm giving you guys one. I'm giving you the most logical way this would work. Okay, so you have spotter, you have the trigger. The trigger is going to be the person who's going to tell the shooter to pull the trigger. Okay, that's why it's called the trigger. This is going to be a visual cue or an audio cue. In this case, I would think it would be the audio cue, and it's very weird that the person on the mic is talking about shootings, trans shootings and whatnot when the bullet is fired. I would love to hear this guy's side of it. He may already have some stuff out there and saying, "Hey, look, I had nothing to do with this. I'm just as shocked as everybody else." But that audio cue he could hear it. Okay, now I can shoot. Um, you have the shooter, obviously. That's the person pulling the trigger, and then you have a fall. The fall is somebody who's going to the distract law enforcement so the shooter can get away. This did happen. this old white guy he was in 9/11 and the Boston bomb. This dude's been everywhere. It's really freaking weird. This one's weird because he says he shot. He says, "I did. I shoot me," and then he starts saying, "I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I'm not answering any questions." Turns out he didn't do anything. But if you needed a fall guy, so you can get away. There you go. And the last one would be, this is a give or take. You could have it or not have it. Would be a lookout. This person would be at the at that building where the shooter is, and he's just making sure nobody gets up there, or he's going to warn the shooter if law enforcement or somebody notices and is going to get to him. He's going to warn him to get away. Um, that's all you would need to really pull off an actual assassination of somebody of a high profile. Charlie Kirk in his movement was very high profile. Charlie Kirk in his movement was very, very high profile, guys. Um, but unfortunately, I don't think any of that's true. I think it was one guy that was in an echo chamber that had become radicalized by the left with all the right is Hitler, the right is Hitler, the right is Hitler, and if you could kill baby Hitler, you should kill baby Hitler. That's the rhetoric that they preach, and that's what happened. Um, I encourage you to make your own educated um, decisions on what happened. I'm just giving you guys mine. Again, I'm not looking for this to do good, bad, or anything. I'm just putting my 2 cents out there. I'm irate about it. I'm very upset about it. Um, uh, this is the last thing I'll say before I end the video, but um, I got it in really good time too. The first time I did this it was like 60 minutes. I was like, that's way too long. But the last thing I want to say about this is I'm a Christian conservative. I knew of Charlie Kirk because he was in my influencer social circle. So like I follow like Steven Crowder and Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro and Brandon Tatum, the Hodge twins. I follow all these guys, but I didn't know Charlie Kirk's name. I saw videos of him owning people on campuses, and I thought it was funny. I didn't know his name until after he died, and that's 100% the 100% honesty for me. I didn't know his name until he died, and I wish I would have known more of him before he died. Um, he's moved me. He's changed my entire perception of how I view my Christianity. Like I was living the wrong type of Christianity for a long time, and he his death has made me go back and watch his older videos and hear some of the things he said, and you can go and fact check it and go, oh, he's so right. And so because of that, he gave his life, and he's changing people's lives still. He's changed my life. So I hope this video helps people. If you agree with me, great. If you don't, that's okay too. Um, as always, like, comment, subscribe, guys. And I want to do more videos like this. I want to do a conspiracy video where I break down some of the big conspiracies, some really big conspiracies like September 11th kind of conspiracies. Um, I also want to do like some other fun stuff, like do like reactions to football games and music and all. I just want to. I'm gonna have a whole dedicated channel to that. But if this is something you guys like, let me know. Again, uh, you guys are awesome as always, and like, comment, subscribe, share this with people if you think if you think what I have to say is valuable, share it. But yeah, look at my little Chitterfang, guys. This is Chitterfang from Magic the Gathering, by the way. So for you guys that watch my gaming channel and I'm playing Division, I'm trying to get the Chitter gun, whatever, and it kind of remind me of him. But yeah, he's my wallpaper. But yeah, guys, I will see you guys on the next one. All right, guys, take care. Bye.